Hey guys, hope you guys have been doing well. I know Sam and I have been missing for a while. I've actually just relocated to Denmark, and that is why there has been a little bit of a delay in the videos that we have been doing. But you should see one again later this week, and hopefully by next week we should get a little bit more settled and we can continue with the weekly videos. But for today, we thought we should just do a video really quickly just to share a recent experience that we have in relation to IDOs. So we know that IDOs is a quick way or one of the best ways to make quick money. But I guess after being through quite a few, we noticed that it is more than what meets the eye. To be successful in a IDO, that really requires some planning and some things to watch out for, and this is what this video is about. For simplicity's sake, let's just say we applied for an IDO and we went through the whitelisting process and we got this huge opportunity with an upcoming IDO. So the two things that we really struggled with at the beginning, it relates to number one, after we get in, when do we get out? When do we sell? How do we know when to sell? The worst case is we get into the IDO after it gets listed, we see the price pump and dump and we get caught out there. And I think secondly, it relates to gas fees, especially if you're on the Ethereum blockchain. We know that that comes with extremely high gas fees, and we need to know what's a good amount of fees to be paying for and what's really too much that maybe it's not even worth the investment. So before I even go straight into it and address these two things that I've just raised, I think the key thing about IDOs is this. Okay, so firstly, you need to be able to watch the listing live. So one of the mistakes that I used to make is that I thought that being in an IDO is already a winner because basically you are getting in at a cheap price, right? But as I've mentioned earlier, sometimes this may be a pump and dump, and if you're not there to watch the listing or not to sell it there upon the listing, you might wake up the next day and realize that your coin that you have just bought at a cheap price has pumped and dumped to a point whereby it's at the price that you bought it in, or at times even lower than at the price that you bought it in, and you will never know again now when this coin is going to pump at a profit. And the second thing is that you need to have a plan, right? This plan may be fluid, but you definitely need to have at least a drafted plan that can guide you to react when certain things in the market happen when the coin get listed. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later on in this video. So now right into the solutions, right? So the first point is about when do we get out? And the answer is actually that we need to have a plan, as I've said. So firstly, you need to start off with some research about the project that you're getting into. Do you think this project has a lot of potential? Do you think you would want to be hodling this coin? Or do you think you want to just make a quick buck out of it, which means you probably just want to flip it the moment it's listed at a certain price? And this will help you to determine the price point at which you will sell. So let's say we got into such an exciting project that we are looking to hodl this coin, right? So what I'll normally look to do first is to sell a portion of the allocation that I have, usually either half or 1/3, to make back my initial capital that I've invested for the IDO. So what this means essentially is that I will be riding on risk-free, and I've freed up my capital again to buy the coin again in the case whereby the price comes down to a point whereby I think it's good to get in again. So in order to do that, for you to be able to determine a price, what you have to do is just basically take half or 1/3 of your allocation and multiply it by the target price. That will eventually just give you your capital that you have initially invested, and that will be the target price that you'll be looking to sell at. So when do I sell at one third of my allocation, and when do I sell by half? And there's really no one answer to that. We usually look at the price chart at listing, which is again why it's crucial for you to be at listing, and just look at how price reacts upon listing. If it's more aggressive, then maybe you might want to go for one third of your allocation, and if it's a little bit sluggish, then you might be looking at half. So it really depends. So now in the second scenario, whereby you're in a project that you're not intending to hold for long, but the key thing here is you still need to have a plan, right? And I usually look at it in one of two ways. So in a more aggressive way, I usually set target prices for myself at 5x, 10x, and then at 20x. So this is the way I try to balance taking my profits as well as not giving my profits back to the market. So what I mean is this, right? So upon listing, if the coin or the project gets up to 5 times my initial price, then I will sell a portion of it. And if it gets 10x, I'll sell another portion, and then at 20x, I may close it all off. But of course, if I do see the bullish momentum slowing down, then I may just choose to close all off at a certain time point. So that's the aggressive way of looking at it. The more conservative way of looking at it is to set the target a little bit lower at 3x, 5x, and then 10x. So the two things that really determines that for me is around the potential of the coin based on the research that I've done, and secondly, what does price look like upon listing. And now moving on to the second issue that we struggled with at the beginning that relates to gas fees, right? So we are thankful for websites like gasnow.org. Basically, when you go onto the website, you can see what are the current gas prices for the different speeds to push your transactions through. And basically from there, you can decide if the price is a fair price, or it can also guide you basically in deciding what's the price that you're willing to pay to push your transactions through. So of course, we worry about this a little bit more if your project is on the Ethereum blockchain, but if your project is on the BSC chain, then highly likely gas will not be so much of a concern for you. And something important that we really missed out at the beginning is this. So guys, gas fees are everywhere. You have to pay it basically for almost everything you do in relation to your IDO. So for example, the common one that we probably know about is the gas fees that you have to pay when you buy the coin, right? But then you realize that there are many other gas fees that come into play. For example, after you buy it, you have to approve the smart contract, then you have to add it into your wallet, and then eventually when you want to sell the coin as well, there are gas fees in play, and this will definitely inflate your capital or your principal of investment in this particular IDO. So when you're looking to sell your coins, going back to the first point, you need to take this into account, because especially when you are on the Ethereum blockchain, gas fees are not cheap. And with that, we hope these two tips help you to do better at your next IDO. We know a little bit of luck is required in IDO, so some of us may have had experience already and some of us may not yet. But the whole idea of this is to share our personal learnings with you guys, so you guys don't make the same mistakes or have to figure things out on your own as you go along. So let us know if this video helped you. We wanted to share a case study about an IDO that we recently got with CardWallet through OccamFi. And if this helps you, do let us know please. Then we will share this with you guys again soon, perhaps tomorrow. Right? So with that, thank you guys and see you again.